The Ice King did not go mad. Yes, that's how he's been portrayed to us for years. The crown was placed on his head, his hair turned white, his movements became strange. But Simon Petrikov's mind was still sound. He didn't actually go mad. What drove him mad was an entity that spoke to him. And this entity was neither a normal enemy, nor a normal sorcerer. It was a being beyond the perception of time and space. It had existed since the beginning of the universe, and every whisper of it echoed in Simon's consciousness. Simon Petrikov was a rational thinker, a scientist, an archaeologist, and above all, a curious seeker of knowledge. But he was also a lover, a protector, and possessed a very sensitive heart. The love he felt for Betty would become the most critical element of our story. One day, Simon found an old crown. The crown, with its stones and craftsmanship, clearly came from ancient times. But those stones were not merely for decoration. There was a consciousness within them. And Simon, without realizing it, became the bearer of that consciousness. The first whisper was silent, even uninvited yet sweet. "Take me. You will see everything." As night fell, this voice began to grow clearer. It was no longer coming from outside, but from within. And Simon began to realize that this whisper was real. It is precisely at this point that Golb, which Simon unknowingly connects to, comes into play. Golb existed before the beginning of the universe and is pure chaos. Golb does not represent evil. It is the absence of existing order, the embodiment of chaos and evil. It has existed since the beginning of the universe. The concepts of time, place, and goodness are meaningless to it. It is simply an entity that feeds on chaos. The crown actually contains a part of Golb within it. But this part is not energy, it is consciousness. When Simon first tried to speak with this consciousness, the Ice King's madness seems to emerge, but in reality, it is a telepathic communication. As the crown's whisper echoes in Simon's consciousness, images from the past emerge from his memory. The disappearance of the stars, the drying up of the seas, chaotic beings falling to earth. These images are actually warnings, that is, a message. But Simon initially interprets this as a dream. The first changes start small. Handwriting changes. Melodies become strange. Small forgetfulnesses appear. As time passes, Simon's consciousness becomes like a doorway. Golb passes through that door and begins to fill Simon's consciousness in a chaotic manner. The Ice King's strange behavior and meaningless songs are examples of this initial connection. Simon's physical transformation is now irreversible. His hair turns completely white, his skin becomes pale, and his eyes turn ice blue. But what is noticeable is that he still performs every action consciously. Simon only acts in harmony with Golb's voice. With the power of the crown, Simon's consciousness becomes a bridge. Golb tries to enter Simon's consciousness. Sometimes he whispers to him, "Time is standing still. I'm talking to you. Can you hear me?" Other times he completely manipulates Simon's thoughts. Thoughts flow like water, blending perceptions of past and future. The Ice King's meaningless songs are actually Golb's secret messages to Simon. Simon's human consciousness continues to exist, but Golb's echo is constantly dominant. Every memory, every human emotion, creates both strength and sensitivity. Betty notices the changes in Simon. At first, she interprets this as madness, but she soon realizes that Simon's transformation is the result of communication with a being. The stones of the crown contain Golb's conscious elements. Simon is in communication with this consciousness. The Ice King's behavior is a response to Golb's voice. Betty appears to save Simon, but she realizes that Golb affects not only Simon's consciousness, but also his perception of time and space. The crown's light shines in the room. Objects shift shape. Walls and lights shatter one after another. When Betty touches Simon, Golb's presence is felt. Simon's eyes shine as if they are talking to him. The Ice King is not a completely insane character. He is a human mind mixed with Golb. Golb's existence affects the structure of the universe. Time begins to play tricks, and the sense of place disappears. When Simon takes a step, it is as if he is walking in a different dimension for a few seconds. Every movement he makes, every breath he takes, affects the universe around him. Along with the crown's glow, objects suddenly shift places. Time stops, then flows rapidly. Simon's mind and Golb's stream of consciousness move in parallel. Betty tries to control this hidden energy. But Golb only allows interaction. It cannot be fully controlled. A silent conversation begins between Simon and Golb. Words are conveyed not through speech, but through emotions and visuals. Simon sees the past. Golb points to the future. Each scene is a metaphor, a message. The Ice King's strange songs are actually examples of this telepathic communication. Every melody that plays writes the information Golb conveys to Simon. Every movement is a message made manifest. Betty tries to lessen Golb's power by connecting with Simon, but Golb doesn't just watch. He protects himself and expands Simon's consciousness. In short, Simon Petrikov did not go mad. He acted on the oldest consciousness in the universe. The Ice King's behavior is not madness, but a side effect resulting from a secret communication. When Golb comes into contact with human consciousness, it can alter it, reshape it, but it cannot destroy it. Madness is actually a side effect of contact with this consciousness. Simon's human side still exists, but it has now merged with Golb and become a bridge. Perhaps madness is the first form of a new consciousness. Perhaps Golb did not destroy Simon. It transformed him. And now, somewhere, beneath the ice, it still whispers, "I never left you, Simon. Remember, when chaos emerges, reason falls silent." Friends, I haven't been able to post videos for a long time. Actually, I was posting videos, but I was having trouble because of copyright issues. I'm going to organize the videos now. Subscribing to the channel and writing nice comments motivates me even more. If you enjoy exploring the mysterious aspects of the animated universe, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. The cartoon world is much bigger and more meaningful than you might think.